the Haslam Group set out and unveiled a 3.6 billion with a B plan for a stadium coming in Brook Park. So here is some of the renderings. And again, if you're listening to this, just look them up. They're beautiful. But here's kind of an aerial view from the HKS group that put this out. Your thoughts on the new Brown Stadium as it I'm going to just kind of leaf through some of these pictures, but your thoughts on some of these pictures.
Yeah. So like, I think you move out of the urban setting, just like Las Vegas. You move out of the outskirts into the desert and whatever. You could build a much better facility.
Yes.
Easier for fans to get into.
Yes.
And a much better experience.
Yes,
for sure.
And the thing I love is the roof is like translucent or transparent, whatever you want to call it. But you look at it, and part of the reason it's so low is because it's going to be built underground, FAA regulations. I think it's about 10 minutes from the airport, about 5 or 6 miles from the airport. But I think I'm going to be in the minority in this and say, I actually think moving the Browns out of downtown will actually benefit the downtown area.
100%.
Now, people would like probably come at me and say, that is absolute nonsense. What are you talking about? Well, one, I think it will open up railway systems, busing systems, transportation systems that maybe don't exist right now. And you kind of have a little triangle there between the airport, Brook Park, and downtown, which
it's not that far away. It is super close to downtown.
Yeah, it's 10 miles. I think it's 12 miles from downtown. So we're talking at most a 15-minute drive. If you're in heavy traffic, maybe 20. But parking will be much readily available. Getting in and out of the facility will be much better. And it's just the overall experience. Like,
think of the concessions that you have to make when you're stuck in a postage stamp right by the lake like that. Because you can't expand. You can't put everything you'd want. You go to Brick Park and you can do everything you'd ever want because there's just property available.
Well, and really, if you think about downtown Cleveland, where it's situated on the lake, you can really only go in 2 directions. You can really only go east or west because the city is directly south. North, you're driving right into the lake. So you can really only take 80 or 90 east or west. And then once you veer off east or west, you can go 77 south or 71 south or whatever to get to wherever you're going. But it is not convenient to get in and out of that stadium.
Not at all.
And one thing, I don't know if anyone noticed this, but in this one image, if you can see in that end zone, now this is the opposite side of the big scoreboard. There is a smaller scoreboard, but underneath that, there are these heavily sloped bleachers, which I think they're going to be their new version of the dog pound, which to me looks amazing. And here's another reason I'm going to say this is going to help the city of Cleveland. One, instead of 15 dates a year, you're probably going to have upwards of 100 to 150 big events in this facility per year. All those people are not staying in Brook Park. A lot of those people are going to want to stay in downtown Cleveland. They're going to want to spend their money in downtown Cleveland. Will they be in Brook Park a lot more and more than they are now? Obviously, that answer is yes. But like I said, with the transit system, that's going to open up, and they got 3 or 4 years to get this going. So this will be a massive undertaking, but they also have the time to do it. And I think they're setting these plans up right. And this is the same company that built the Minnesota Vikings Stadium, who I think is the nicest stadium in all of football, and also the Texas Rangers baseball stadium, who is it. If you look at some of the lines and the design and there's a lot of angles to this. It's not just like flat roof or rounded. It's a very aesthetically pleasing.
So do you think the conversations with the city of Cleveland, is it really for naught that this is a foregone conclusion? They've already decided that's where it's going to be? Or do you think the city of Cleveland could do something to make it downtown?
My opinion, it's a done deal. I think they're going to like masquerade around saying, yeah, we're trying to keep it downtown, but I don't think so. And I saw Cleveland, the city of Cleveland was offering like 461 million or something, which is great, but you're putting a Band-Aid on that stadium still. You can't put a roof on it because of FAA regulations with that stupid airport that's downtown. And that's only for like if Trump or Biden, well, Harris flies in, or like private jets or whatever, which is fine. It's nice to have something like that, but don't put it right on your major moneymaker of the lakefront. So my best thing I would tell the city of Cleveland, tear that stadium down. Maybe make the Browns pay for that. Tear the stadium down, whenever it's done, and then build apartments, bars, restaurants, shopping, parks, beaches, whatever it might be. Invest in that area and don't don't let it keep being the mistake on the lake. My last question before we close out on this, your thoughts on the roof, because a lot of people say, oh, it's AFC North football, it has to be played outdoors, it has to be a grass field. What say you on that?
No, it's marketability, and the roof, like you said, 150 versus 12.
Yeah,
big advantage.
Exactly. And if I go to a game now, I'd pay a little bit more to be a little bit more comfortable too. Yeah. It's like I think it might be an advantage at sometimes for the Browns playing at home, because
it really hasn't.
But it really hasn't at all. No.
Yeah, like if your team is really geared for cold weather,
yeah,
it hasn't played out that way.
It hasn't.
In at least 10 years.
Look at that Christmas game, 2 years ago, when the Saints came in and it was like -8 degrees, snowing, brutally cold. The Saints, you can't get any more south than New Orleans, really, unless you're in Miami. And they came in and beat us. And it was like, that was two evenly matched teams, and they beat us because they were the better team, even though they weren't playing in the elements. They're a dome team from the South. And Cleveland's
no dice. Put the stupid dome on it.
Put the dome on it. Build it. If you build it, they will come.